Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. Try to ignore the sun this morning. It's a little bright. So, I had every intention of getting my car registration renewed this morning before work. And of course, as I was about to head over to the DMV, which is only about 5 minutes away from my house, I discovered that all of my insurance cards that I had, whether it was in my room or whether it was here in my car, were all expired. I'm like, what? So I was forced to go over to my parents' house because they do have a printer. Me and my roommates and my brother, on the other hand, do not. And I want to print up new ones, and I put them in my car already. I don't usually keep one in my wallet anymore because of the fact that I keep losing everything that's in my wallet, and that's not good, except for my debit card and everything that goes in my debit card slot. I do need to get a new wallet, though. That's actually something I need to tell my parents. I would actually like that for my birthday. In fact, when I get into the store, I'm going to ask, because I'm at work right now, but I'm not on the clock yet, thankfully. I still am a little early, as I said. But yeah, while I'm heading into the store to go put my lunchbox away and go clock in, all that fun stuff, I think I'll text my dad and let him know, hey, another thing that I would like for my birthday, if possible, would be a brand new wallet because my current one is falling apart. But yeah, I figured since I'm so early, I would like to talk to you guys about the election. So you're probably wondering, well, what do you want to talk to us about the election? Well, the title says that um oh, let me start over. Basically, according to the title, which states why prayer is so important during this election. And honestly, prayer should be important during any election if it comes down to it. So, during this specific election, just in general, we should be praying even more fervently. And I'm not a kind of person that is going to pick, sides as far as who should win. Now, I will admit, yes, I'm a Trump fan, but I'm also the same kind of person. I'm also a Christian that firmly believes that God puts certain people of power in position. I mean, you can look back as far as the books of First and Second Kings to see that for myself, or sorry, for yourself, is what I meant in the Bible. And God chose good kings and he chose bad kings. Why did he allow bad kings to rule over Israel? To teach the Israelites a lesson, to teach them that if you guys want a king so badly, then you guys are going to have to accept the fact that if you want a human king, humans are going to make good decisions and they're going to make bad decisions. But there's only one true king who will never fail us, and that is God or Jesus, the true king, the king of all kings. And we need to accept that sooner than later. So, just looking at one of my closest friends' Facebook posts kind of reminded me of that this morning. So, shout out to JR, Josh Southard, for that Facebook post this morning because that was kind of what inspired me to do this YouTube video. But honestly, I've been wanting to do this one for a little while as well. But JR definitely gave me an inspiration to want to talk about it more. In fact, I'll message him as well today and let him know that I did do a shout out to him in my YouTube video and to be watching for it later tonight when it's online because I'm not going to upload it until tonight when I know that I'm going to be able to edit it right away. So, yeah, I really wanted to just tell you guys that, excuse me, I don't know who's going to win. Some news companies are going to, or whatever, are going to make a lot of like guesstimations as who's going to win. Some of them have said that Biden definitely looks like he's going to win. Some of them have said it's leaning more towards Trump, and some of them, like NBC, is like it's too close to call, and that's all we have ever heard. So, you're going to hear. a lot of like the Democrats or liberals that are just going to make fun of Trump. You're also going to hear just people that just do not like Trump and just bash him down. I know Jimmy Fallon is not a Trump fan, never has been. I still love Jimmy Fallon no matter what, even if he's not a Trump fan. And I'm like, to each his own. I know when Trump first was running for president, my own dad was like, really? Donald Trump of all people? Like, my dad was just like completely against the idea. And then you have my music pastor who just admitted back on Sunday night he was all ready to pack up his suitcase and leave the country, and yet he stayed anyway. So, you're going to find people that will say that they just cannot stand the idea of Donald Trump being our president, and yet they end up staying. I know TJ has, well, let me start over. TJ threatened to leave the country if Clinton won the last one, and yet she ended up losing. And the funny thing is, just like Biden, she had more votes. Now, I do have to make this comment, and this was something that I do have to agree with Fallon on. Biden has had more votes than any president has ever gotten. And, I have to applaud Biden on that one. I'm not a Biden fan, but I do have to applaud him on that one because that is pretty impressive. And the reason why he has gotten so many votes is because of the fact that we are in a pandemic. And a lot of people are scared. A lot of people want change. A lot of people want to go back to normal. And that's all it comes down to it. And there's a lot of people that think, well, if we keep doing Trump's way, then it's not going to go back to normal. But ironically, Trump has a strategy working that could work. But Biden thinks what we need to do is shut back down the country. We need to start enforcing face masks across the entire country, almost like he wants to overrule the governors. This also would mean that he would give Dr. Fauci double the power that he already has. And he also wants to raise the gas prices again. And right now they're actually pretty good, but that doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. So just, keep these things in mind as, you're sitting at home waiting for those results. I mean, at this point, there's nothing else that we can do. The polls are closed. As Fallon said last night, the only polls that we should be thinking about are the North Pole and the South Pole, specifically the North Pole, where Santa Claus lives. So I'm not going to mention the other pole because the strip poles, because I'm a Christian and I don't believe in that kind of stuff. So I know, as funny as that was to him last night, I'm like, haha, very funny. I don't do that kind of stuff. So laugh it up all you want, dude. I'm just gonna sit around and wait for Christmas. I'm extra excited about Christmas this year because I actually have a vacation booked right now for Christmas. I am going to work Christmas Eve at least, but I'm going to I'm going to take off Boxing Day, the 27th and the 28th. Well, I get those 2 days off automatically. Plus, I'll have the prior Sunday and Monday off as well. So, yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, I also have Christmas Day off automatically. So, that's basically 4 days off in a row. So, that's pretty good. So, and not to mention, the only days I'm working the week before is the Sunday and Monday at my other job. And then I just have to work at Meyer 3 days, and that's it. And I'm like, hey, I'm okay with that. So while everybody else is all booking their vacations while it was slow, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to book my vacation for the end of the year. But that's the one thing that's helping me stay calm. But most importantly, I'm just putting a lot of faith and trust in God during this even more difficult time. Like, we already have been in a difficult time, but now everybody's basically saying, well, whatever happens with this election is going to be the result of what happens with this country as the pandemic continues to grow worse and all that. So my final words for you guys are, do not lose faith in God. Put your trust in Him. That especially is going to be said to TJ and K. I am especially pointing them out right now because they should know how I feel about God and how I feel about um, our current president, and I want them to remember that no matter what happens, that God has everything under control, and that God's not going to, forget us ever. And I know there's been times where God seems like he forgot us, but no, he never did. And I just don't want anybody, especially my two closest friends down in Central Florida, to ever forget about that. I mean, I have a lot of close friends, but I'm specifically pointing at those two because of the fact that we do communicate a lot. I hope and pray that my friend, close friend Vanita, I should say, um, remembers that as well. But I know with TJ and K and how much of Trump supporters they are, I just pray and hope that, if Biden does get into office, that they won't go out rioting like I think they're going to do. Especially TJ. I'm very concerned about him. I have a very bad feeling that he might, but only God knows our future, and only God knows what's going to happen with this election. When we get to that point, we'll know, but God already knows. And God already knows what's going to happen after we find out the results on top of that. So we only can see things as the day goes on. Like, we can only see each day, one day at a time. I only know what's going on at this moment. I don't know what's going to happen an hour from now. I mean, for all I know, they might have the results by tonight. Anyways, guys, I'm going to head inside now, clock in just a few minutes, and, whatever happens, happens. Just do not lose faith in God. Do not lose your focus on God. Stay focused on Him. And if you don't believe in God, this would be a perfect time for you to put your faith and trust in God. If you ever want to know more about God, please feel free to message me at my Facebook page. There is a direct link in my About section. You are always welcome to message me. I have YouTube videos that will tell you guys how to become a Christian. Comment below if you want to learn how to become a Christian. I will gladly lead you through that. I don't have a lot of time right now, otherwise I would. I've done it before, but that was not the point of my video. This was just to help us to stay faithful and focused, and most importantly, please pray. And that's another thing. When I say stay faithful to God, stay focused on God, I'm also meaning to pray continuously, especially during this election, because the only person that has any, or the only one that has any control over what happens right now is God, and that's it. It has nothing to do with the poll workers. It has nothing to do with how hard Biden or Trump worked. It's all up to God at this point. So just keep that in mind. And I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.